I was thinking, because I do counseling every day, I was thinking of, and we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven, by the way. The best counseling service on this side of heaven. And in all honesty, you really only need one or two sessions. Some people like to do a follow-up. And most people like to do more than one or two. But you really only need one or two at best, even though a lot of people want to do comebacks. But it's the best counseling service. So if you need counseling, you can go to the website at rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. You can do it by phone, Skype. I think that thing called Skype. Is that Skype or FaceTime? Skype. And then if you're in the LA area, you need to set up when you want to come in, you can do that. You can do it that way as well. Up to you. But best counseling service on this side of heaven. So my experts are here. And I was thinking, because of counseling, but not the only reason, it's paying attention to myself as well. I was thinking about the effects of words. Have you ever just thought about words and the effect that it has on your life? And so I want to ask my experts about the words, and see what they think about it. Because I don't know if they think about it or not, but these things I think about, especially since doing counseling. And I'll tell you why in a minute. My experts are here. First, we have Hake of the HakeReport.com, Monday through Friday from 9 to 11 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time, the Hake Report. The guy with the good hair and the never-ending birthday. By the way, his birthday lasts longer than Jesus. It's still going on. It was last year in July. Your birthday was July, right?
Yeah, I turned 40 and a half on Monday.
He's so serious about it like it's real. And he's one of my experts here as well. And the Anchor Baby, Nick. Nick is the producer of the show, my show. And now he has his own show, Anchor Baby Show. Anchor Baby Show. New show, Anchor Baby's new show on YouTube.
Good morning.
On Fridays at 5 a.m. Pacific time. 5 p.m. Pacific time. 5 p.m. Pacific time. And he's also one of my experts here on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. And Chris, audio engineer. Social media expert, as well as an expert on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Now growing a beard, he's starting to look like Jesus.
That's right.
Chris, my expert.
Good morning.
So, good morning. I was thinking about, because yesterday I was counseling, and I heard some really sad stories, if you want to use that term, from people who just having a hard time with words, right? Have you personally thought about words and the effects that they have on you, or either to make you feel good, or make you feel bad, or make you feel this or that? Not only the words in your imagination, the thoughts, but words that other people say. Have you ever thought about the effects of words?
Yeah, I've thought a lot about them.
What do you think about words?
They're so tricky and deceiving. Like, you could say the same thing using different words, and one makes you feel great, one makes you feel awful.
And why is that?
Because it's like a symbol to your mind that sets you off in a direction, in a tilt, that it's meant to, like, set the tone and trick you.
When you say set the tone, what do you mean?
For example, what they do with politics regarding words. The American Rescue Plan is what Sleepy Joe called his China virus relief stuff.
Right.
In reality, they're the ones who are putting us down. They support the shutdowns. So we need to be rescued from, they're the oppressors. They're not rescuing us.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about words and the effects of words?
Yeah.
I know, and I was talking to in counseling yesterday, and this is not the first time, but yesterday I just thought about it later. There are people who change the course of their lives because of words. They were like doing fine, living their life, and then they heard words, and it changed the course of their life. And so you've thought about the effects of words,
Yeah, for sure.
and what do you think about the words? Words.
Well, in the same vein of what James was saying, I had mentioned it. I've mentioned it myself, and others have as well. How language, puts like a spell on you. Like it has this like
You put a spell on me. Go
it
ahead.
has this effect when you say it a certain way to affect change, to make people think certain things, without them even realizing that you're making them think that way.
Have you ever noticed how does words affect you?
Yeah,
You notice that?
yeah,
And do you wonder, why am I affected by words?
totally,
Either
In fact-
from your not self,
for sure.
the thoughts, or from others. And you thought about, why am I affected by words?
For sure.
And what did you come up with?
Well, the way I was just explaining on the whole way that language can put a spell on people, there's another thing too that happens with people. I noticed because I've seen it in myself, is that for some you just seem to, a certain word can make you overreact to like something that you're thinking, and so I remember even being pretty young and thinking how. Realizing, I think I had heard someone say, how can words hurt you? That makes no sense. Because I remember thinking about people being hurt, their feelings being hurt by words. And then I heard someone say that, how can a word hurt your feelings? And me thinking, wow, that's so true. How can a word hurt your feelings? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
But then even after realizing that, there was still kind of like a need to mature into not having words affect you. Despite being aware that words shouldn't affect feelings, and then even further being aware of the ego and stuff, yet you could still find yourself, if you're not like paying attention, overreacting to like words. It's really crazy.
Interesting. And most people never overcome the effects of words.
Mm-hmm.
They get really old and still affected by words. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Words are so amazing to me. Now that I'm paying attention to it, right? Really paying attention. Chris, have you ever thought about words and the effect that it has on you and others, either from the thoughts or from others? Have you ever like looked at that and thought, it's interesting, this is just a word? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, especially in the past couple years. I don't think I really thought about that much growing up, but lately I have been.
And what did you come up with about words?
In thinking about them, what did I come up with?
Yes.
Well, it's sort of, you maybe think, or you have the impression that whatever the person said to you, the words, they affected you, but now I'm coming to find that it's what's already in you is what is affecting you. And usually what the person says, if it's a conversation or if, the person is yelling at you or whatever it is, that's just reminds you of whatever's already conflicted inside of you. So it's more of like what's going on inside of you versus the words that people are saying.
Do you think that it's possible to live a life and never be affected by words? Ever, never, never, never. You think that's possible?
I'm not sure. It's tough to say because, the entirety of your life, meaning from
From
bir-
this day forward.
well, that's possible. I do believe that. Yeah, from this day forward. Yeah, that I do believe is possible. I don't know about the totality of somebody's life, but yeah, it could happen at any moment in time for any person, and they could live the rest of their life without the words.
Is it normal or abnormal to be affected by words?
I would say it's in a worldly way, it's very normal, but in the absolute sense, no, it's not normal.
Repeat that, I'm sorry.
In the worldly sense, it's very normal, but in the absolute sort of way, no, it's not normal.
What's the absolute mean? What do you mean?
I mean more in like the true, the true way, the true nature, the true the absolute, the divine, the way God intended it to be.
Right.
No, it isn't. But we live in the world, and the world it does the opposite. So in the worldly sense, it is very normal. But like I say, in the absolute, in the perfect, God's perfect form, no, it's not.
As Cher would say, I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to make you cry. If I can turn back time. She said words. She would change her words or something because she made the man cry with words. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to make you cry. She made a man cry with words. What the? So words, being affected by words, either for the good, what seemed to be the good, that makes you feel good, or makes you feel bad. Words, is that normal to be affected by words, period?
No. Even before thinking about the ego, thinking about deeper things like that, I always knew that my reaction to life, besides even reacting towards that, there was something wrong about the way I'm reacting to life. That why don't I have this? Why don't I have the control over it? Why is it that something's controlling me, like words? And so that just never seemed normal.
It never seemed normal. And do you believe that a human being can live a whole life without being affected by words, period? Like no one can make you feel good or bad or whatever. Do you
Sure.
believe that's possible?
Yeah, sure.
And why do you believe that's possible? How is that possible?
Because if I can see that in my life, I can overcome things like words and if I can overcome some things, I must be able to overcome other things. So it opens up the possibility
If you could overcome words,
for sure.
so you believe that it is possible to completely overcome words?
I think so.
You do. How about you? First, I'm gonna ask: I asked you if it was normal, or abnormal, right?
Yeah.
Is it normal or abnormal to be affected by words? James of the Hake Report, and he growing his beard back.
Yep. It's wintertime. It's cold. And plus, I'm trifling lazy.
Oh, you're too lazy to cut it.
I don't like having to do it every day or every other day.
Yeah, I
whatever.
know. That's why I wear a beard. I just don't feel like cutting no, getting up every morning, especially having to come here.
Especially when I go outside and it's cold anyway.
Well, anyway,
So, is it normal or abnormal to be affected by words?
yes.
I would say it's abnormal. Abnormal. Look at the transgenders. They were told there was something called transgender. And then the world said, we've done studies, their well-being is better when you go ahead and go with the transgender thing. But that's just going by their feelings. That's another word for listening to your feelings. So they're using words to deceive them. And that's one extreme example of abnormal.
Do
And
you
we all do
believe
that.
that is abnormal or normal for you to personally be affected by words? Where someone can make you feel good, someone can make you feel shy, someone can make you feel bad, someone can make you angry, blah, blah, blah. Do you think to yourself, wow, this is so abnormal? or do you think, wow, this is normal?
No, it's disorienting. It's abnormal
What do you mean by disorienting?
because you get thrown off sometimes by those things. And sometimes you feel like, oh, bolstered or whatever. But it is abnormal.
And what is the cause of it to be affected either way by words?
I think that it's like a false pride and a false having God not be your God, like having other people be your God, or having your ego, the ego, be your God. I guess it's not your ego, but not having your faith in God.
Why do you think that's a solution?
The solution.
I
being
mean, why
faith
do
in
you
God?
think that's why?
Because I read it in the Bible. It's a fact.
What the Bible? In the Word. In the beginning, there was the Word was God. God with the Word, and God was the Word. In the Word.
Because in the book of
It's in the
James,
blood.
in the book of James, it
What?
says,
What?
That's funny.
It's in the blood.
in the book of James, it says a man who doubts is a double-minded man. And
Yeah.
he's unstable in all he does.
Yeah.
And it
That
talks
is so
about people
deep.
being-
Repeat that.
In the book of James, it says a man who doubts is a double-minded man.
Yeah.
And he's unstable in all that he
In
does.
all his ways. Amazing.
Blown and buffeted by the waves. So, yeah,
Blown and buffeted by the waves.
the winds and the waves.
Meaning what?
Meaning, like, what happens to you affects you rather than staying the course,
Yeah.
whatever is happening.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so you believe it's possible to live the rest of your life and not be affected by words either way.
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to say that I disbelieve it, but I don't know if I believe that.
What do you mean? You sound like doubting Thomas. Lord, help me with my unbelief.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Lord, help me with my unbelief.
Correct.
Do you believe you can live from this day forward and not be affected by words?
From this day forward?
Yeah. Right. I'm not going to even take you back to
Yes.
neighborhood.
I'll tell you tomorrow if I still.
And why do you believe you can? From this day forward.
Well, I was sort of joking over there.
Oh,
Like, I believe it's possible, but that only comes from because, like, I've overcome. There's God has shown me light, and I've overcome things in my life that when I hear things like that ring true, that you can overcome like words, I almost have to have a little faith on that
yeah.
because look at everything else God has done. I believe in God. That's crazy not to believe in Him at this
I
point.
know what God can do.
Exactly. But at the same
God
time,
will set you free.
but at the same time, it's just natural to wait and see and believe it when you see it, kind of thing, because you can't pretend what you believe or you don't believe, right?
Right.
If I haven't seen it totally, then I can't pretend. So, but I do have faith about that because God has moved in deep ways in my life. So,
The Lord move in mysterious ways.
yeah.
Amazing. Chris, just solution to living the rest of your life and not be affected by words either make you feel good or make you feel bad or whatever. The solution is what you believe. My experts, folks.
The solution would be to get to know yourself, because I mean that's really all you can do. Once you know yourself, you walking in the light. I mean, what else is there to do? That's it.
Amazing. And you say the solution is what? Did you just say? What's the
No.
solution to not being affected with the so-called good or the so-called bad with words? either within yourself or words that are coming from the outside, inside others?
Well, I think in my life, I've had to practice and grow into being vigilant within, because it's so easy to get distracted, and it's in that distracted state that I think is how words can affect you. If you weren't distracted, then I don't think you'd ever be affected by words. If you were able to catch it and see, wow, that is a word from wherever, within or outside. That, wow, look at that word. Look at that word trying to tell me something. I think you would never be affected by words.
And you, the solution is what?
The solution
Of
to
not being affected by words, period. Either from within you or from the outside, inside others.
well, I know that the Bible says
The word said in the beginning.
it does talk about take every thought captive to
Yeah.
the obedience of Christ, and I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it.
And what
I
does
don't
that
know.
mean, take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ?
Why am are you blinking like I'm blinking? I think that it means being watchful, like paying attention to yourself and your thinking and your reaction to people.
That's a very deep point. Because I was about to ask about that. And then I got to move on. Have you, any of you really, any of my experts, I asked Chris first, have you ever noticed that when you're speaking with someone one-on-one, whoever may be, your mama, your daddy, your friend, your enemy, that or a new person that you meet, have you ever noticed if you felt shy or nervous or anxious while you're talking to that person?
Yeah, have I noticed it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you notice it, what do you think about it when you notice that you're feeling that way? Deep.
I suppose and this is probably like setting yourself up to fail, but I think, especially if it's a negative thing, which it usually is, I'm like, oh, how can I stop this now?
Why are you feeling that way?
Yeah. How can I stop while I'm talking to a person, and then internally I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm stuttering, or I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Stop that immediately! You're looking like a fool. I'm doing two things at once.
Yeah.
But realistically, I would say the solution would just be like, if you just can observe it and then not really react, other than like, oh, I know I'm acting like this. Why am I even doing it? And then, maybe it'll just kind of course correct on its own. But, sometimes it just is what it is.
While it's happening, do you ever wonder why am I feeling this way? Why am I acting shy or afraid or
Yeah,
you wonder that while you're communicating to them?
absolutely. Yeah.
Have you ever had that experience?
Yeah.
Like when you're dealing with someone, man or woman, rich or poor, whatever the color may be, you're feeling shy or nervous or anxious or uncomfortable. You've noticed that while
For
you're
sure.
and what
Yeah, I was just about to say what Chris was saying, and I was also going to bring up how, oh man, I feel like I've had all sorts of, I feel like anything you could think of probably has happened while I'm in that situation. Like, oh, realizing that you're acting a certain way and then trying to stop, and then you're focused on that, and then you miss something someone said, and you're like, wow, I just missed it. Oh no, and it's just compounds and compounds against words, or maybe even thinking another thing is like, you realize you're being a certain way, shy or whatever,
right.
and you say, oh no, I'm shy. You say like, I'm this, I'm that, and you're sitting there thinking about how you're that instead of being like in the conversation.
And so you wonder, like during the conversation, you wonder, why am I acting this way? Why am I feeling shy right now? Or why am I giving a false? Because a lot of people in conversation, They give false grins. They don't
Totally.
really feel that way, but they'll do it because of the insecurity, the shyness.
Mm-hmm.
And do you wonder in the moment, why am I acting this way?
Yes, I've done that.
And do you stop or you continue with it?
Well, now when I'm wondering about it, it doesn't seem. It doesn't. I don't know if that's how that works. Every time I've sat there wondering about it, it's just made it worse.
Why are you communicating if you
Well,
thought
if
about
I'm
it?
communicating, thinking about, wow, why am I being a certain way? I don't think that's ever helped. It might have made me examine something, but being like life is, I think life is supposed to be a lot more natural, and it's when you're thinking about it that I think that's causing that.
Have you ever noticed that about yourself? Like if someone you're talking to someone and you feel you give a shy grin or a fake laugh because you feel shy or nervous or anxious,
Yeah.
and in that moment, what do you do about it?
If I catch myself doing it,
Yeah.
I think I tend to calm down if I catch myself doing it.
You do?
Yeah.
And what caused you to do it?
Some of it's habit, because like a lot of these things are like habits. You're like, especially among families, when everybody's act that way and you're trained to act that way.
Right.
And then some of it is like putting others as like your God. You know what I mean? Like
So you're thinking, oh, I'm putting this person as my guy, as you giving that false grin.
it's like a you care what they're thinking or something like that, or you care
But
their
you don't
impression.
know
of
what they're thinking.
I know, but in your imagination, you're thinking that you're wanting to give like a good impression or wanting them to like you or whatever.
So you're thinking, I'm giving this false grin because I want to be liked.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I asked about the effects of words. Have you ever really thought about words and how they affect you from within and from without, inside of others? And the reason I asked that because, as I said, we do a lot of counseling from people around the world. And yesterday I counseled with a guy who said that when he was growing up, his mother used to tell him he's going to be like his daddy, no good. He's going to be just like your daddy. He ain't going to be no good, right? And you used to hear that all the time. And so it would make him feel like a loser, like he didn't have a chance in life, right? And so when he became an adult, he went out and he worked very hard and he did really well. Matter of fact, he bought property. He said he has a lot of money. He's really doing well. And he went home for Christmas, for the Christmas New Year season, right? And so his family knew, his mother and everybody knew he was doing well materially, that he has really made it materially, right? But when he went home, his mother said to him, look at him, he think he's better than everybody. Because they were like talking about what he had achieved. And the mother said, look at him, he think he's better than everybody now. And when she said that brought him down. And so he felt so bad that he went, and now he's losing everything. He's going broke, he's giving it up because he thought his mother would be proud of him and happy for him. But she wasn't. She seemed to have a jealousy or hatred for him because he proved her wrong with the material thing. And her words affected him by her saying, look at him, he think he's better. And the family kind of looked at him and they laughed about it. And now he's depressed. He doesn't want to make it in life. He doesn't want anything now. And I'm thinking, wow, that's amazing how words can affect you in that way. They can build you up and tear you down, or tear you down and build you up, and you could really be affected. This guy's like depressed and everything. And I've heard of so many situations similar to that. People change the course of their life based on words either they hear from other people or the words that come from within. Isn't that like an amazing story? This guy worked very hard. He's a grown man now. And because he went home and the mama said to him, he think he's better. Now he doesn't want anything.
That's crazy.
Isn't that like, what do you think about that story, Jace?
It's nuts.
but he's affected by words. And he said he can't help it.
Wow. That's crazy. I'm just thinking about this, and I'm trying to like recreate the scenario too, where like, what, it was him, his mother, and his family
Yeah,
members.
the people around, they go home for
They
Christmas.
go home for she probably like
all
said
the
it like
other-
offhandedly.
Yeah,
And
this-
everybody in the group thought it was like a joke, and they're like, ha ha, they're laughing. But
family
he's
member-
like going crazy about
Yeah,
it,
he's
thinking
going
like
crazy.
it's like a joke. It's not. Oh, she means it.
Because his other family members
Driving
were there,
nuts.
brothers and sisters, everybody there. And they were happy, they were talking about it. And he said, look at him, he think he's better than everybody now. And it just tore him apart. Almost that, but it tore him apart. And now, and this guy, like, he's not like a baby. He's like in his age, between 30 and 50, somewhere in there. And now he feel like a loser. Really, and all that stuff just a waste of time. He doesn't want it. He's depressed. Well, isn't that an amazing story?
It's unfortunate.
And I've heard worse than that, but I just happened to hear that yesterday, and I'm like, man, you shouldn't be affected by words. What the? And he is. So hopefully he'll get better after yesterday's counseling about words. And I've heard worse things than that, but that just happened yesterday. So I thought, and so yesterday evening I was thinking about, wow, it's abnormal. I want you to know, really, it's not normal to be affected by words either way. The so-called negative or the so-called good. If you're having problem with words, either coming from within the not you, the ego not you, because you're not your ego, or words coming from the outside from others toward you, it's something wrong with you. Really. Don't blame anyone else for it. It's something wrong with you that you are being affected by words. If you feel shy when someone smiles at you, you feel like you got to smile back. Or you put up a fake smile knowing you don't really feel like smiling. It's an automatic thing, right? It's really time to know yourself, folks, so you can overcome words. You can overcome words. And every opportunity, everything that happens to your life give you a chance to be defeated by words or to overcome them. Because as Cher would say in If I Can Turn Back Time, words can be used as weapons. Really, they don't have to pick up a gun. Words can be used as weapons. So smoke on it, get to know yourself. Last word, Chris.
Amazing.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't let the words bring you down.
And I do want you all to know you can live a life without being affected by words. And so you can do it and not be affected by a word, the good or the bad, within yourself or without yourself. You can live a life without being affected by words. Amazing. Last word. Anchor baby.
To all my people affected by words out there, if you like Bond, you're awesome. If you don't like us, you're a loser.
Whatever. What are you talking about? I guess you don't know yet what you're doing on your show Friday, right?
So wait and see attitude. I don't know why you're asking me this
No.
that early.
Speaking of words. Okay. Words should not make you mad or make you feel good. Words should not cause fear. Words should not make you shy. Words should not have any effect on you at all. That's the normal way. But the abnormal way is to be affected either way. And you can't fake it. It has to be real. All right? Last word.
Nice.
Nice. What are you doing on the Hake Report today at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time?
Well, I got a tip from Jesse Lee Peterson that One American News Network got shut down, well, at least boycotted or something, kicked
Yeah.
out of AT&T's DirecTV.
Yeah, I heard that on Fox News that AT&T would no longer be carrying One American Network. That's Trump, one of Trump's favorite networks.
Reuters did a hit piece on them back in October, and now they have an update that, ooh, this could be like a death blow to them or something like that. So, very interesting.
Reuters has an update on
Yeah,
this story.
I mean, they
I thought
updated
Reuters was a
back in-
conservative.
No, Reuters, they're extreme left, anti-American, pro-LGBT, pro-illegal, anti-Trump. They're just off the deep end liberal.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh.
I may have known that, but I forgot.
Reuters, AP,
Oh, maybe I think
CNN,
of AP.
they're all the same.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So the hate report at 9 a.m.,
Yep,
9 to 11.
that's right. Pacific time.
Amazing.
U.S. Pacific time.
Let's hear it from my experts, folks.
Nice.
Yeah. My experts on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Some of the best experts on this side of heaven. Probably the best. All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.